All right. Hey, guys. It's Victor here, and I'm doing some live drawing today. I haven't been on all week, so I figured I should at least get a couple days in this week. I was working on some commissions earlier, and right now I'm going to do a little just free drawing, since all my commissions I have left are pretty much sketch covers. So I'm just gonna do some sketch cards today. Just trying to get back in the habit so I don't slip out of it. I don't like when I miss days, and I always enjoy doing this. So have some fun. Gonna do some live drawing. Live drawing is where it's at. All right. I'm gonna do a horror guy today. Maybe I'll do a Jason. So here we go. I'm gonna do some live drawing. Got the machete down. This will be fun. Just tuning in, chilling out. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world, and sometimes it's good to just get some inner chill going, figure out where you're at in your head, do some meditating, and that's kind of what I like about live drawing, or drawing in general. It's a way to just get in touch with your brain a little bit, and it's fun, just a creative, excuse lever to kind of do what you unleash what's hidden in the subconscious. And then I also enjoy coloring. It's a lot of fun, and we're just gonna do that. Some cool coloring, get some fun drawing going, channel some cutesy stuff and a little bit of horror stuff, and it'll be fun. So yeah, we got our little monster arm going here. Let's do the head here. It's always good to do the head first, but it's kind of like drawing loose, seeing what would come, and kind of decided, I'll start with the arm, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do with the head. And I think that's where we're at right now. A couple people scoping out what I'm doing. It's kind of fun. But yeah, let's go here, and then here we go. I'm going to erase that line in a little bit, but it's good to have it as a guide shape for right now. I'm going to do a little round shape here. Getting a little heavier than I like there. So we're using the magic rub. It's a good eraser you can get at a lot of art supply stores. Didn't go too hard with it because it doesn't matter if we have some scratch on the page, because I'm going to color over that stuff anyway. So yeah, here we go. Finishing off the top of the head here. I think that'll do there. We'll come back to it, and let's get some particulars of this head shape going. Looks pretty good. I think we're gonna go for kind of a part 6 Jason maybe today. We'll give him a green outfit, and he's a little bit of a zombie, but should still be fun. A couple little maggots poking out of his head here. Kayla's here. Hey, Kayla. Look at that. Let's get a little bit of a raggy outfit going. I'm a big fan of the raggy outfits. Jason enjoys worker chic. Hey, how's it going? You having a good day today? And then kind of get his arm going over here. Not gonna make him as decayed as he is always. We'll have a little bit of decay. We're just gonna have some fun with it. And then let's get some sleeve action going over here. Was listening to Spotify earlier, but the app keeps crashing on me. Yeah, probably need to update it. But yeah, here we go. It's not too shabby. Alright, get some droop here. A little rip over here. Show some of those ribs. Some baby back ribs. He's kind of a baby type character. A chibi, if you will. Alright, so there we go. We got a lot of detail there, which is good. Alright, let's get some eye action going here. Eye action. There's another one right there. Kind of cute. Get our little chevron going here. Ryan's here. What up, man? How's it going? I was working on yours earlier, but I wasn't going to do it on here because we're still keeping that a surprise. But we're about a third in the way of coloring that one. Just taking a break to do some free drawing on here. Right, that's pretty good. Then we'll go in and color here a bit. It's funny when you do this enough, you remember where all the dots go. Alright, then let's see. Where should I put the eye? On the left side or the right side? Because he's not getting two eyes. Yep, that works. Yeah, I dig that. Couple of loose hairs. Alright. You need one of these after my atoms. Right? I know. I think I sent you your atom. It should be on its way, Dwayne. So yeah, I like doing the Jasons. He's one of my favorite ones to work on. Alright. So let's do some yellow up in this mug. Not lemon, cadmium, cream. Where's my banana hiding? Funny things Victor says on stream. There it is. Oh, a few people showed up. So I'm going to color the mask yellow because I like that versus just white. We're not going to go too crazy either. It's going to be a little bit faded. This mask is going to get a lot of texture. I'm a big fan of doing texture on my masks. There we go. Ah, I'm glad you got it. Yeah, this one is not a commission for anyone. It's one of my free drawing. It's not for free. I'm just, doing some free drawing. Which, if you guys haven't heard me say that before, just means I'm drawing with no particular commissionee. So if you want it, you can totally buy it from me. Looks pretty good. My workspace is a little bit less of a tilt, so the card isn't sliding as much. Watch, and now me having said that, I'm going to jinx it. So this flesh marker I'm using right now is kind of faded. I actually have a new one I'm using, but here's another hat tip. When your markers are getting faded, you can still use them to kind of do highlights. Gives a little bit of a rougher texture. You're going to see me do that in a minute with a gray marker. See what I mean? It's still dirty, but you don't have to like dirty. It's just gives the mask kind of a more aged feel. See, it looks pretty good. Do some shading right here. And all those kind of scuff colors are helping it pop, look a little more three-dimensional. See, there we go. I'm going to dull that down with some more of the lighter gray. I think he got it actually after, because he died when he was a little kid, so he's been like a zombie forever. Before he found the mask, he had a sack over his head. I don't think he starts wearing the mask until Friday the 13th, Part 3. Just a little trivia there. Alright. Now I'm going to give a little dimension to some of those holes in his mask. So the reason I'm spending so much time on the holes is because the mask is what's going to pop the most on this card, you know? So the thing that's going to pop the most is what you want to spend the most time on. That's the head. So just give it a little bit. So it looks like almost like rust. Even though the mask isn't his face, you want to do some shading to kind of give the illusion of that, because for our intents and purposes it pretty much is his face. Put little scratches on the nose part. And we'll do the eye here and some holes. Eye holes. Now you see what I was saying about the little shading? Looks kind of like rust, and now I don't have to go over those same spots with a different marker. But I'm going to add some more gray stuff, especially around the eye. Just a little more scuff here. I'm very serious about my scuff. Eye hole, man. Eye hole. Alright. Alright, let's drop a dot of brown in that eye. Alright, now, if you saw in Freddy vs. Jason, Jason has a bunch of scuffs from Freddy's claw on his mask. So I tend to like to add those. I mean, really, I don't need to, but I just like it. Like I said, it's just some fun texture. It's okay for the line on this mask to be a little messy because the mask is jacked up in the movie. So I just kind of try to make it a little messy on purpose. See, that looks good. Throw some brown behind that strap. Just tilted it a little so you guys could see a little more detail. kind of freaky, right? Throwing some more black lines here, because I'm trying to define this head. I'm just doing some more shading. This color is called suntan. I call it an easy way to do shadow when you're doing skin tone. And then we'll go over a couple of these lines with the same color. We'll just say those are deeper scratches. Yeah, it looks pretty good, I think. Alright, and a couple of these lines will even add a little bit of black too. Like he really got in there. I'm not full on inking these, just kind of dragging the marker a little bit over. And then we're gonna do some white gel paint over this too in a minute. Well, not in a minute, a little bit. Give Jason there a couple of lumps. There we go. Looks pretty good. Alright, so now we're going to work on his shirt for a minute. So I'm going to need some greens, which are always fun. You guys enjoying this one? It's kind of coming out fun. Alright, so he's got a green shirt. So I'm going to do light yellow over it first. This color is called Ivory. So you're like, Victor, if this is a green shirt, why are you doing yellow? Well, since I'm going to go over this in darker colors, it's nice to have a lighter base because then that creates default highlights as I go along. So say some parts are shinier and thus lighter. It makes it easier. So he's going to have we're going to start with a light green shirt here. Right? That looks pretty good. We're going to do a few shades of gray over this. It's basically going to mimic an effect known as a wash. You notice that this light green already has some texture. I'm glad you guys like watching me draw. See, it's just like, and this lighter green goes over that yellow base color pretty straightforward. See, that's pretty good, I think. It's already a deeper green than it would have been alone on its own. Alright. So now we're going to go with a deeper green. So this green is more the actual color of the shirt he would be wearing. kind of a work shirt green. And you're like, Victor, why did you do those two other colors if you're just going to go over with a darker one? Because I'm not going to go over completely. See, I'm leaving that space, certain spaces blank, because I don't like to color aggressively. But what that does is, see, what I leave behind is the highlight. So I can see the depth of the drawing as I go along. And then if I want it to be any deeper, I'll just go over it with a darker green, which I'm going to do. So then by the time I'm done, there's a lot of depth and texture in this design that I don't have to try so hard to find. I just kind of draw casually and it happens. Just because I laid a couple of base colors down. And then I'm not married to like using the colors, every color I want, you know? Gives me options as I move along. Okay, you can buy it after. And look at that. So this is palm green. It's basically the color of a palm tree leaf. And this is the last green we'll be using. This is the actual color of Jason's shirt in part 6. But you realize now I've added a ton of texture to it. So that when I add some grays and some blacks, it's like the mask. It has a ton of depth and it looks way doper than it would have been if I just used this color right from the get-go. Isn't that cool? Yeah, you guys know I have fun doing this stuff. Plus, I'm showing you how I'm doing it, which is my favorite part. All right. Now, let's go in there with some black. Hey, Jake, how's it going, man? GPKAA needs to be a thing. At least you know you're getting some top quality stuff when you see me draw it. All right. I do like drawing Jason. He's one of my favorite guys to draw. Hey, Russell, how's it going, dude? You guys like how this one's coming out? I'm actually really happy with it. See all that stuff I was talking about, highlights and all that coming into play? I'm going over it with the black, and every area I leave aside just instantly becomes a highlight. Yep. That's how, if you ever watch Bob Ross, you know, there's that whole thing he talks about, happy accidents. When you give yourself room to make mistakes or experiment, everything you do is a happy accident. Because I wasn't planning out where I was going to leave blank or where I'm doing these lines. You know, I'm just doing it kind of naturally. Like, there's a spot here, there's a spot there. So it all just kind of flows. So then everything is a happy accident. Just don't be afraid to experiment when you draw. If you draw. You know, you shouldn't be afraid to experiment with any creative thing you do. If you sew, if you knit, all that stuff is fun. Working on the ribs here. It's always good to give your characters some flavor, some character, if you will. So Jason's a zombie that's lived underwater for a long time. I figured his bones should be a little bit yellowed. Maybe even a little bit green. Isn't that cool? If I remember right, this Jason had like yellow gloves. So we're doing orange over the yellow because it's kind of like a natural shade to it, like it's wet and it's being highlighted. But then we'll do some dark gray over it too, because it's dirty. Right, algae green shirt. Look at that. That's coming out pretty fun. All right. So I'm going to do some fun stuff here. All right. So we'll make that part there green. Probably didn't need to make this yellow yet because it breaks one of my rules about going in dark when I still got to lay down some light. But thankfully this thing has a chisel tip, so I'm just going to dip. Remember, guys, if you're going to do lots of light colors, make sure you lit up the darkest layers last, unless you're gonna drag that dirtiness over, which I'm kind of doing here. And then I'm gonna go over that orange with a little bit of brown, kind of dull it a bit. And then we're gonna go over that with a black in a minute. There's always a method to the madness. All right. All right, that's almost done. Then we'll get to the background, which is everybody's favorite part. All right, so let's do some sword here. So these are called Ohuhu. If you want to get into drawing, you can buy like a set of these for like, the set is like 60 markers for like $40 something on Amazon.com. It's a good way to get started and not kind of break your bank. I got one a while back, and a lot of them are faded now, which makes them good to use for what I'm doing here, which is kind of like glints and reflections. It's always good to keep a few faded markers around just for that reason. You don't have to work as hard to get like that kind of effect. Yeah, alright, so you notice that one's like blue, so then we go over it with a light gray, and you kind of get all the shimmers. And then I pull this one, it's called Crystal Blue. It's a darker shade of blue than the one I used before. That's what I'm using to line the machete. Alright, so now you're like, what's next on this? Because I don't see a lot of background. Well, what's going to happen now, put a few of these colors back so I don't lose the integrity of my little system here. Bear with me. This was like pulling out too many colors. Alright, so now I want some brown. We're going to do a little mound of dirt, like he's just crawled out of a grave. Sort of like JDK or Dead Ted. So I'm leaving some holes because I'm filling those in with a lighter brown in a minute. Right? Then we'll go over that with, nope, not that one. With a dark brown. So you notice I use like 3 different shades of brown on this dirt. Because you don't want to just do like one brown. It just doesn't have any depth. And then we go over it with a black. And we just outline those circles earlier. Alright, so now it's all muddy. So this is what we're going to do now. We need 2 blues. So I'm going to use crystal blue and ice blue. This is what we're going to do now. So that's rain. So you notice now we go over the light blue with this darker blue, and it looks like raindrops. So you're like, there's this big spot right here, Victor. What are you going to do? So now we have this color. It's called Pale Indigo. Pale Indigo is basically light purple. I'm going to line this up right here. Suddenly we have a lightning bolt. But what do you need for lightning? I live in the desert too. You're like, Victor, what are you doing? It's like, I'm adding some highlights on the mask. Part of what I'm doing is getting this paint marker going so I can do this. I'm trying to do string lightning, and then where I do the string lightning, I'm going to outline that in blue. Sometimes it doesn't flow exactly how I want, but you know, it's the whole process. There we go. Right. How long have I been doing cards? Since like 2017. Doesn't seem like that long, but I guess it is. So there we go. Right? I think the lightning made it pop. I hadn't tried that before, but I thought it might look cool. There we go, Jason from Friday the 13th, Part 6. I just wanted to stand still so I can drink some water. I do have my ceiling fan on, which probably isn't helping. Oh, thank you. Oh, I'm glad you like the music. Yeah, just try to make it calming. There's too much stress in the world. All right, well, I think that's it for today. It's almost 5, so we got like a full hour here. Yeah, I'll probably pick and get back on tomorrow too. And here's the back. Actually came out good. Since I used a lot of light colors, wasn't too much bleed in this at all. So that's in really good shape. Ooh, stand still. All right. So yeah, let me add a little bit more here. I think, yeah, that's cool. All right, guys. I think that's kind of badass. All right, so yeah, I'll be back on tomorrow. If you guys are interested in getting a commission done of your own, just hit me up. Always up for that. Always a lot of fun. And we'll pop back on tomorrow. I'll message you afterwards, Dwayne, see if you want it. But you guys have a good day and stay safe, all right? I'll talk to you all later. Peace out.